about a man named George Bailey, who lives in Beverly Falls, New York. George, more than anything, wanted to see the world, the exciting world that lay somewhere beyond his hometown. George had big dreams, but also big responsibilities. Of course, the two don't sometimes go together. He realizes that happiness is not always over the rainbow, but right underneath your nose. However, our story doesn't begin here. Actually, it doesn't begin anywhere in the world. It begins here, in heaven, where I've swim tentative angels and briefing an apprentice angel named Clarence. Clarence!
Running. Clarence Oddbody, Angel Second Class, reporting for duty, Your Honor.
What? They sent me an angel? Second class? You haven't earned your wings yet, have you?
No. But I'm hoping this assignment will be the one to do the trick. Gosh, you're really sending me down to Earth? I haven't been down to...
Yes! Now, there's a man in trouble down there.
Good!
No, bad, Clarence. At precisely 10:45 p.m. Earth time, a man named George Bailey will be thinking about taking his life.
Oh, geez, ending his life? I know that's bad.
Good.
Huh?
I'm glad you understand, so you must stop him if you can. Now, let me brief you about George Bailey's...
I don't need any of that, boss. You see, all I need is a plan.
A plan?
Well, yes. You see, I've been reading The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain.
I'm familiar with the book.
Well, you see, in the books, Tom Sawyer always has a plan.
Ah. Well, if you can help George Bailey with your plan, you may just get your wings. Say, how long have you been waiting for your wings?
Over 200 years.
200 years? Well, I guess George Bailey is going to need a miracle.
Great! Nice to see you have faith in me, boss. I'll leave immediately.
Wait, plan or no, first, background. Look here. When George was a boy, he and his friends snuck onto me and Mr. Potter's property. They decided to go over a frozen pond on themselves, but George's younger brother...
Jumped in to save Harry.
Yes, and as a result, George has a bad ear.
Yeah. Icy water infection. I get it.
Now, look here. A few months ago, George was working after school in Mr. Gower's drugstore, but on this day, Mr. Gower received a telegram informing him that his only son had just died from influenza. Devastated, Mr. Gower decided to drown his sorrows in whiskey.
Mrs. Blaine? Yeah, George should live in Madison by now. Oh, wait, here he comes. I'll go talk to him. Goodbye. George, you live at Medicine? The little Blaine girl's sick.
Well, no, Mr. Gower.
You should have lived in Medicine right away. You lost it, didn't you?
No, Mr. Gower. Here it is.
Here? Why are you little?
No, Mr. Gower, my ear.
You lazy loaf. Good for nothing.
No, Mr. Gower, that's my sore ear.
What are you trying to do? Ruin me?
No, Mr. Gower. I was gonna...
Shut up, you little.
But you put something wrong in those pills. You took the powder from that vial. It's poison.
Poison? Poison?
I was gonna tell my dad when he was home, but he was busy. Little Mary Hatch was sitting at the soda fountain. She heard it all, but she too never told a soul.
Gosh, George certainly took a beating. At least he did the right thing.
Well, George grew up and wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't enough money. So he worked 4 years for his father at the building and loan.
Building and loan?
Yeah, his father was in the building and loan business. He and George's Uncle Billy. But this was a case of high ideals and low bank accounts.
Those two always seem to go together.
Yeah. Well, George saved enough money to go to college, but he wanted to summer in Europe first and working his way across on a cattle boat. Full of wanderlust, George wanted to do a little traveling before college.
Another piece of apple pie, George?
No, Pop. I'm full. Gee, it's hard to believe this is my last night at the old Bailey boarding house.
Well, we're all going to miss you, George.
I'm going to miss you too, Pop. And Ma, and everyone else in Bedford Falls. Gee, Pop, you look tired. What's the matter?
I had another run-in with Henry Potter today.
Oh, that Mr. Potter, that old money-grubbing guzzard. You know, I thought for sure he'd ease up on us a little once we put him on the board of directors.
Me too. He's the richest man in town.
And the most miserable, if you ask me. I mean, I don't understand a guy like Mr. Potter. He can't even begin to spend all the money he has.
Well, he's been cooped up in that wheelchair all his life. Think about it.
Yeah, but he owns everything he wants in Bedford Falls. Everything except the Bailey building and loan.
Maybe that's why he hates us.
Hey, George, can I borrow your tuxedo cufflinks for the dance tonight?
Yep, sure thing, Harry.
Where are they? Say here in this beat-up old suitcase?
He wouldn't need tuxedo conflicts on a cattle boat.
Well, you never know.
I got this from the Emporium. Harry, Mr. Gower gave it to me.
As a going away present?
Yep, from far away. Just think about it. Weeks from now, this thing's going to be plastered with exotic stickers. I mean, I'm going to Berlin. I'm going to Athens. I'm going to Rome. I'm going to see the Parthenon.
Seems like a pretty full summer, George.
Oh, not just a pretty full summer, Pop. I'm having a pretty full life.
Well, why don't you come to that dance tonight?
Your graduation dance? I'd be bored to death.
Oh, but what a wonderful day.
There'll be lots of pretty girls, son.
Yeah, we're doing it on the new gym floor.
Putting the pool under the gym floor saved the high school thousands.
Oh, that's just a start for me, Pop. You wait. What I'm going to see, what I'm going to do.
Like those tuxedo cufflinks?
Oh, yeah, top right upstairs.
Ooh, you like. Look at the times. Dude, I gotta go.
All right.
So.
See you, Harry. Was I like that when I first graduated high school, Pop?
You sure were, son. I sure wish we could send Harry to college with you, son, though.
Yeah, but we got that all worked out, you see. He's going to take my spot in the building and loan, work for 4 years, and then he'll go.
He's a little young for that job, son.
No younger than I was.
But you were born older.
Wait, how's that?
I said you were born older.
Oh, and I know, Pop. That's why I got to start now. I mean, there's a whole place out there just waiting for me to conquer it.
Well, when you come back from your trip, you wouldn't mind coming back to the Bailey Building and Loan, would you?
Coming back? Now, Pop? Gee, I just couldn't. I couldn't face the rest of my life living in that shabby little office with all those...
I see.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean it like that. It's just all this business of nickels and dimes.
I know what you mean, spending your whole life trying to save 3 cents on the length of pipe.
Do you, Pop? Because I want to do something big with my life. I want to do something important.
But in that shabby little office, we are doing something big. We are doing something important. Helping people get on their feet, getting their own lives.
I know, Pop, but see, all my friends, they've already gone to college and they've graduated. If I'd stay here, Pop, I'd just bust.
I understand, but you've got talent. So you go out, get that education, and then do what you want.
You ready for a shocker, Pop? I think you're a pretty great guy.
And you're a pretty great son. So how about that dance?
Well, it is my last night in Bedford Falls. I guess I could stop by. Maybe I will at that. I love you, Pop.
See you, son.
See you later.
So, George Bailey went to the dance. Is that important, boss?
Why, it was at the dance where George fell into the pool with Mary Hatch and the rest of the class of 1928.
So I guess you could say George and Mary went a little overboard at the school dance.
George was walking Mary home later. They're feeling pretty good, Clarence. As a matter of fact, wonderful.
Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon? Hot dog, eh, Mary?
We sound beautiful, George.
Well, we don't look beautiful. You should have seen me scrounge get these clothes in the locker room. It was crazy.
I didn't know you were the football type.
And I didn't know you were the royal robe type.
You didn't? My train, sir.
You're a caboose, my lady. Gee, Mary, what happened to you? Well, if it wasn't me talking, I might say you're the prettiest woman in town.
Well, why don't you, George?
Maybe I will. But hey, how'd you get so grown up?
Well, I'm getting on you, George. We might even be in the same class in college.
The same class? How old are you now?
18.
18? Well, it's like only last year you were 17.
What? Am I too old or too young?
No, just right. Your age sort of fits you. I mean, you do look older without your clothes on.
What?
No, I mean, you just look older without your dress on. I don't know, Mary. Just look where we are, the old Granville house.
Oh, yeah.
See, you gotta throw a rock and bust a window.
Oh, no, George, don't do that. I love this old house. It's full of romance.
Romance? No, you just want to bust a window and make a wish.
But it's a lovely old house, and I want to live here someday.
Live in it. Go on. All right, second story, house, window on the left. I busted that window, Mary.
So what'd you wish for, George?
Well, not just one wish, Mary. A whole hatful. You see, I'm going to shake the dust of this crummy old town off my feet, and I'm going to see it all, Mary. I'm going to see Italy, Greece, the Colosseum, the Parthenon, and that's just this summer.
Well, that's a good start.
And then I'll come back, go to college, see what they know, of course.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to build things, Mary. I'm going to build these buildings that go on for stories high, and I'm going to build these bridges that go on for miles. And, hey, what you doing there, Mary? You're actually a pretty good shot there yourself. So what'd you wish for?
Buffalo gals,
Oh,
you
come
come
on,
out
Mary.
tonight?
What is it you want? Do you want the moon? Because you know you just got to say it, and I'll throw a lasso around.
The moon. I'll take it. Then what?
Then what? Then you'll swallow it, you see, and it'll dissolve, and and moonbeams will shoot out through the ends of your finger and throughout the ends of your hair. And am I talking too much, Mary?
Yeah, why don't you kiss her?
What's that?
I said, why don't you kiss her? Instead of talking her to death.
Kiss her, eh? I'll show you some kissing now. Now,
Wrong people.
Mary, where'd you go?
I'm over here in the hydrangeas. Toss me my robe, George.
Toss you your robe? Sure. Now, wait just 1 minute here.
What?
This is a very interesting situation I'm in.
Oh, George, toss my robe, please.
It's not every day a guy gets into a situation like this.
George Bailey.
Not in Bedford Falls, at least.
I'll tell your mother on you.
Oh, that's no use. She's all the way up there.
George.
I know. I'll sell tickets, Mary.
George!
What is it?
George,
Look,
it's your father.
my father, what's happened to him?
He's had a stroke.
A stroke? Mary, I gotta go.
Well, Clarence, George's father died that night. And George didn't go to Europe either. But that fall, just as he was preparing to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan had a meeting.
A meeting?
They had to appoint a successor to Mr. Bailey.
Enough discussion, gentlemen. All those in favor of approving these last loans made by our ceased president say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No!
Mr. Patterson is noted, but the motion carries. The loans are approved. Thank you, George. That's all we need you for. I know you've got a train to catch.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, is Ernie out there with the taxi?
Oh, yeah, taxi's waiting to take it to a train and college. Hurry, George.
I'd like the board to note that George here gave up his entire trip to Europe to oversee things here these past months. Good luck to you at college, George.
Yes, ma'am. See you, George. Sir?
Have
Ma'am?
fun. Now, proceeding with our agenda, we must come to the...
No, Mrs. Chairman.
Mr. Potter,
I've waited long enough. I want to get to my real purpose. The dissolution of this.
dissolution.
I've waited long enough. Now, this establishment is not needed in this town. It competes with a bank and is a general nuisance to sound business practice.
That is your opinion,
It
Mr.
is
Potter.
not opinion. Now that Peter Bailey is dead, I move we dissolve the building and loan and turn its assets and liabilities over to the receiver.
Now, wait a minute, Potter.
You wait a minute. Peter Bailey was a man of high ideals. High ideals so-called without common sense will ruin this town.
Ruin?
Of course, it's not fair to the common people to make them live beyond their means. For instance, Ernie the taxi driver. I know he was turned down by the bank, but here...
Now, hold up. I did it all myself. The papers are in front of you. His income, his insurance, his collateral. And I can personally vouch for his character.
Ah, a friend of yours? See what you get, ladies and gentlemen, when you play pool with a client? A discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class. All because starry-eyed dreamers like Peter Bailey put impossible ideals in their head. Now, who will second my motion to dissolve?
Now, hold on, Mr. Potter.
George, I meant no disrespect, but your father...
But now my father, why my father ever started this penny ante business, I may never know. But let me just say this. This rabble you keep referring to does most of the working, living, dying, and paying in this community.
So?
So is it too much to ask for to let them work, live, die, and pay in a decent house? Well, my father didn't think so. You want to know why? Because to him, people are actual human beings. But to you, you warped, frustrated old man, people are cattle. And in my book, my father died a way richer man than you
We're
ever
not
be.
talking about your book, George. We're talking about the building and loan.
No, you're talking about something you can't get your greedy little hands on, and it's galling you. That's what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I've said too much.
That's okay, George. Come on.
It's quite enough, actually.
Well, you're the board. You can make the right decisions. But let me just say this. This town needs its building and loan, even if it's just to have a place where people can borrow a few bucks without having to crawl to the likes of you. Let's go, Bill.
So what happened, George?
Yeah, all me and Tilly heard was a bunch of ruckus.
Eustace, boy, oh boy, you should have heard it. Tell him, George.
Oh, yeah, they're voting us out of business right now.
Shut up, Jimmy.
Well, after 25 years of business, easy come, easy go. I don't know what's going to happen to us now, though.
And your mother, poor thing.
Good job for Harry.
You know what, though, George? It was worth it. Did you shut up Potter's big mouth?
Yeah, who cares? I can get a new job. I'm only 51.
56.
Will you get out of here, George? You already missed your boat trip to Europe. Do you want to miss college?
Oh, no, I don't.
George, they just voted Potter down.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But there's one condition. They appointed you to take your father's place.
Me? No, look, Uncle Billy's your man.
Sure, you can keep him on. You can hire anyone you like.
No, look, I'm going to college, like now.
George, you've got to. They'll vote with Potter otherwise. They said so.